Well, hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another live stream of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. As you can see, we are back in SimSafari, and my oh my, it has been ages. Please do let me know if the sound is too loud, and then I will quickly just set that a little bit lower. Hopefully you all can hear me very nicely without it being too loud. Let me just also double check that I have, yeah, there we go, my sound on my phone is also off. Alright, so today our mission is to recreate the Amboseli National Park in Kenya. And it is just to the north of Mt Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa. And then, yeah, it's quite an amazing ecosystem. Has quite a few large tuskers as well, or a few large tusk elephants as well. And a very well, great range of species that we have got there. There are some species in SimSafari that do not occur in Amboseli, and we're not going to put those in, but we'll look at that as we go along. Of course, we have to choose a map that actually represents Amboseli quite nicely. So what I'm looking for is Lake Amboseli, which is to this side, more or less to this side over here. So if we say that's north, that's south, that's west, that's east, somewhere here to the west, there should be a large water body that is the Amboseli or Lake Amboseli, and then there are also some wetland systems more or less over to this side, you know, if we kind of squish the map together. So that is what we're looking at. Hello there, cool guy. Welcome to the chat. Glad you are here with us and hope you enjoy the stream. So we're going to look for that, and everything else is just kind of a side matter. We've got a bit of a water body there, not what we're looking for. That kind of, well, you see there, that could work a little bit better. Okay, so we can say that is Lake Amboseli, and we need one a little bit more water to this side as well. We can, of course, place the water ourselves, but that is going to take a lot of money. No, we need more water to this side. I love the randomized maps, but sure. Yeah, no, that's too much. You know what? No, almost. I should. That could have worked. Never mind. Okay, come on. Unfortunately, it's quite random. Now, you know what? We're going to work with this. This is going to be what we're working with. We are going to just remove the lake at the top there, and we're going to put some more water down to the side to simulate the wetland system. All right, and we are going to start with no plants or animals. So it's a bare bones one. Hello there, Fire Duck. I see you're also here. Wilson is doing very well, and he is, yeah, he's usually quite an angel, but he is also quite naughty sometimes, and if he doesn't want to sleep, he will not go to sleep. That's it. Okay, so if we're looking on our map here, and unfortunately the music is going to be playing, let's quickly check. I think it is, yeah, okay, so now the background sound's gone completely. Okay, let's see here. If we look at the map here though, we've got Lake Amboseli up here, and around that there should be quite a lot of plant growth. Okay, so all the way around here. We also then are going to put in a few more wetland ecosystems in essence down to the south here. That, of course, that's our ecologist hut. That's where we stay. And then we're going to have a bit of a drier, more arid region to this side to try to have at least. We can't really do anything to get that going, but we are going to say that is a drier area. Then here to the south, we are going to put a few more trees. So very grass dominated to the top here, more tree dominated to the south here along the wetland systems that we are going to be putting in. So Amboseli has got a very interesting range of habitats, but we will look at that. Sorry, I just switched the sound off completely. There we go. Background noise must come back. Okay, but we're going to look at that as we carry on. We do need plants to actually start establishing. So the way we're going to do this is just by plopping in a whole bunch of grasses. This is going to be how we seed the area. In essence, we are putting in a whole bunch of plants to then just spread. So this is kind of the nucleation, as we would call it. We are establishing a nucleus of plants, and then we are just going to let it spread from over here. And this little cluster of grass we've got up here will spread far and wide. Now we are going to, in the meantime, also put in a few trees. Now, we can't put all the trees in. We can put a baobab or two, perhaps a little bit more to this side. Oh, you see, that tree already we can't have. We can't have camel thorn. They don't occur in Amboseli, nowhere near it, in fact. The camel thorn here used to be, I think they've got it here as Acacia giraffae, or giraffea. Okay, we don't see it here, but if we go to the field guide here, we can see that they still have the camel thorn as Acacia giraffae, as the giraffe camel thorn, or giraffe thorn. But they changed the name. It became Acacia areoloba, and then it changed again, and it is now, I think, Vachelia areoloba, though don't really support that change. It will always be acacia to me, but we're going to control the numbers. Everything we see that shouldn't be here, we are going to take out. We do have baobabs, a few to the south here or to the west. They do kind of occur around here, but in really low numbers. One tree we can really put in is Acacia tortilis, this umbrella thorn. Okay, so the umbrella thorns here are quite common, typical acacia species that you find in savanna ecosystems. Very important if you're looking at browsing by giraffes and other browsers, so we will need a few. And you know what, we are going to establish quite a lot of them over here to the south as well. The trees are quite expensive, so we have to work kind of sparingly with them. Okay, but hopefully this will be enough to actually get the numbers going. And you know what, we're also going to put in just a little bit of red oat grass. I see, cool guy, you say, oh, you gotta go again. Ah, I see you also said you haven't watched this from me yet. I haven't played this in probably 4 years, actually. I played it just when the channel started and then not again. So yeah, I haven't played it in ages, but hope you will check in either later or when the videos are on YouTube itself. All right, let's see here. Then I also see Fireduck, you also said umbrella thorn was the favorite tree to use in the African exhibits in Zoo Tycoon 1. They're really awesome trees to actually include. It gives that real aesthetic to it. But interesting, if you actually look at it. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's tortilis. That's right over there. That is Acacia tortilis. I think now Vitellia tortilis or some other name, but it will always be Acacia tortilis to me. But the tortilis comes from this contorted seed pod. So the acacias, all the acacias, belong to the same family as typical peas. They are Fabaceae, or Fabaceae, the pea family, pea and beans. And of course, they then come with their seeds in these pods. But whereas most species, like, we don't have that exotic one, Vitellia, we don't have the camel thorn anymore, but mostly they actually have their seeds in like a normal flat pod. With the umbrella thorn here, it's actually in this contorted or twisted seed pod, and that's where tortilis comes from, the contorted one. It also has got a very, very interesting thorn, so we can't see it here, but in the description, there we go, it does say it. They have two types of thorns. They've got a small hooked one, like a cat's nail, and then next to that, so they'll have one hooked one, and then next to it, they've got a straight one. And that gave them the Afrikaans name, hak en steek, meaning hook and prick. So the hook one, that's the little cat one, the cat nail thorn. That one hooks you, and while it is hooking onto you, the others are poking you or pricking you. So that's where they get their name from, at least the Afrikaans name, hak en steek. Quite a fun little tree. Now, we already are losing some baobabs here. This baobab is already dead. It is obviously showing a nice pretty picture here. That is the flower, most likely bat-pollinated or mostly bat-pollinated. There would be some moths also coming to it, but I believe at night they have got a nice sweet scent to it, and they are big. I mean, the flowers are about that size. And big open flowers, so the bats would come along here, drink the nectar at the tip there, and in the process get the pollen grains stuck all over them. And they fly to the next baobab, and they go and pollinate that one as well. All right, so we've got a few animals automatically coming in. We've got the buffalo over there. We've got secretary bird walking around, oxpeckers flying around. Yeah, so some species will come in. What we now need to do, before we can do anything else here, is we need to go to our camp. We need to start setting up a camp that is actually going to provide us with a nice income. Okay, so we're just going to plop down a nice little pathway over there, and we are going to place down a hide so people can actually come and chill on the edge here and look at everything that is beautiful on the other side. Actually, you know what? We're going to place 3 hides down because why not? All right. And then we're just going to come like that and let the path go along there and carry on like that. Oh, that was a horrible one there. Sorry. Of course, this is in the days before you could actually rotate buildings. So, yeah, we're going to just have the buildings one facing the one way or always facing the same way. And we're going to put another one in there like that. So we've got clusters of 2 cottages, 1 cottage over there. And you know what? We are going to put a very, very nice some lala. Oh, you know what? We don't have lala palms, ilala palms occurring in Amboseli. We don't have them there at all. So we can't place them. We can place sausage trees. That we can actually place, because there are some records of them around in the area. Not necessarily in Amboseli itself, but in the area they do occur. So they're not too foreign. We can plant them around here. All right. Now, what we also can plant is a a bush willow. Now, this specific species of bush willow doesn't occur there. This is, I think, what is it? It is Combretum col something. What are you? Oh, there's a lion apparently in the park as well. Bush willow, there we go. Oh, I could have just checked the field guide. The bush willow we've got here is, here we go, Colinum. I knew it started with K-O-L. So Combretum colinum, that is the species of bush willow over here. They have, oh, can we see it there? I think we should be able to see it. Bush willow, we should be able to see, yeah, there we go. We can see the seeds there. They've got these 4-winged seeds that fall on the ground when they're ready or ripe, and then they're quite dry, so they tumble along in the wind. The wind will blow them a little bit of a distance, and then they will end up in some area, and hopefully then start growing. Also, some of these are very often found along rivers or in wetter areas, but I think this one can occur in any general area. Okay, so we've got some accommodation. We do not yet have ablutions. Now, we don't have fancy pants places for people to go and use the restrooms. We just have normal little outhouses and showers. All right, so these showers here, not connected to taps at all, not connected to these big fancy networks of water or pipes. Instead, you just fill up a bucket of water and you hoist it up, and then you open up a little tap and water falls down with gravity. And if you run out of water, well, that sucks. That sucks to be you. We're also going to have, I think, a little picnic area right over here. Yeah, right over here like this. We're going to have a nice little trail coming along. And like this, this, and this. And you know what we are going to plant right in the center there? Oh, we can't plant the baobab. We are going to plant, you know, the characteristic umbrella thorn. There we go. That's a nice little thing to go and plant there, I think. All right, let's see. We've got accommodation. We've got that. What else? Oh, they need a place to eat. They do need a place to eat. So let's go for a dining area. And, oh yes, before I do forget, Nick does send her regards. She and Wilson are currently in the room. They're just chilling over there, but he is currently asleep, so that is nice. Getting a nice little break. Thankfully, he doesn't cry too much, but sometimes now, especially in week 2, he can be quite crying a bit, or can cry quite a bit. All right, now let's see here. We are going to need to have vehicles going soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to just have this little area over here. This is where we're going to place all the cars over here, and they're going to drive into the park. The park, of course, also does need roads. So let us build just a basic road network, very basic, very, very basic road network, just along here. Okay. Now, the thing is, we are just going to bulldoze some of the grasses here. This area to the south, we are most likely actually going to change into a wetland system. Look at that, it just grew immediately. I think we are in the wet season again. Can we see? Yeah, it's summer. Okay. Yeah. It is summer season. So, yeah, we are. I think we are going to probably lose the baobab. Probably. Oh, no, we're not going to lose the baobab. Yes. I could bulldoze behind it without actually destroying the baobab. Great. I don't want to destroy baobabs. They take a very, very long time to grow. They are very, very slow growing. But they can also survive to be more than 1,000 years old, most likely. It's uncertain exactly how old they get. With most trees, you would be able to tell because you can look at the growth rings. But the baobab, this fleshy trunk that we've got over here, this fleshy trunk is very fibrous. It doesn't form the typical rings you associate with trees. And as a result, it's very difficult to actually age them. All right, now we're going to, I think, plant another nice baobab right over here. And then we're going to plant, no, we can't plant the leadwood. 2 marula trees because they kind of do occur in the area. And we are going to plant a bush willow over there. A nice little spot to have a look at stuff. Okay, then a road that needs to come along here. Oh, not along there. Come on, that's horrible road building wool. Let's come along here. And then, oh, we've got Impala as well. Great stuff. We're going to have a look at that in a moment. Let's have a road going up, more or less, to Lake Amboseli at the top here. Just going to take that turnaround place away. Oh, there's a lion. Of course, all the lions in the game here are male. We don't have any female. We don't have any lionesses. All of them are males. All right, and let's have the road actually just, again, there's going to be a lot of bulldozing because I build horribly the roads. There we go. So now we've got a bit of a road network coming in and out. Okay, and that means when we get to our camp here, we can actually get a vehicle or two. Let's go for 2. And now that we have got a few of these things ready, actually, let's just quickly make this little path come down more or less to this area. So let's say people can actually come and chill over here as well. Let's have a nice picnic table right over there, and perhaps a nice tree. Let's go for a marula tree. Oh, marulas are really amazing. And we'll place a sausage tree just to add a bit of danger to it all. The reason I say we add a bit of danger with the sausage tree is because, well, they're currently flowering there, and there we go. We've got fruits hanging from them, which are big. I mean, I've seen like half my torso or more in length. They're massive. And in some areas, if you've got sausage trees in a camp, for example, in Kruger National Park, I know there is at least one of those signs. It says, beware falling sausage fruit, because you don't park your vehicles under them. You don't go and stand under them when they've got fruit. You can probably hear the fruit falling from the tree, but you don't want to stand under them, or at least you don't want to fall asleep under them. Leopards do, however, love sleeping in them, just for interest sake. Now, we've got some stuff happening. We've got like vehicles we need drivers for. We need attendants to look after our camp. We've got scouts we need to drive around with the drivers. We need cooks. So we're going to get one cook that is going to help us with cooking food for our visitors. We're going to, I think, let's get 3 drivers and 3 scouts. We've got 2 vehicles, but that way, at least, technically if one falls ill, we've got a replacement ready to take over. And for now, let's just go for 3 of those and 1 naturalist. There we go. So now we've hired 1, 4, 7, 8, 11 people from the village, from the local village in our park, which is marvelous. And what also the elder here says, what Uzoma lacks in skills, you will get in a great sense of humor. You'll be happy with your new attendant. Okay, so Uzoma is working for us as an attendant in our camp. Let's also see here, we've got a nice village over here, some huts over here. We've got the maize, the crops, all kinds of stuff going on. Some umbrella thorn trees as well, a well as well. And then let's see, I think that is it. Currently, they don't have any damage from elephants or so, but over time they can get stuff like trampling of the crops over here. All kinds of bad things can happen. And they will eventually, as you hire more staff, they'll get money, and they will put up a granary and a little hospital, and they will also put up a fence to keep out the elephants. And as they do that, poaching also will decrease in the park, which is very, very important. Just want to check, do we have any? No, we don't have any poaching yet. Okay, which is good. Oh, we've got some rabbits that are coming in. Now, these are hares, actually, not rabbits. These are savannah hares. I believe in the game here they are called Lepus victoriae, Victoria's rabbit, or Victoria's hare, but I think they are now Lepus, or what are they called now? Something else. I can't remember what they are called now, but a different name. Now, the thing is, their population can explode very quickly. And if we have a look over here, and we just put savannah hare up. There we go. You can already see we started with 6 and they're already on 16 at the moment. And it will just increase exponentially. We're going to just keep it there for now. They are going to overgraze potentially. They're going to cause a lot of destruction here of the grasses. But we're going to see. Hopefully it's not too bad. I did realize, I don't know why I put the trees and the grasses, everything here where I actually wanted a wetland system. I wasn't thinking, that's why. So let's extend a wetland system a little bit over here. Because there is a lovely section. Oh, I just destroyed the road there. There's a lovely section in Amboseli National Park where you can actually drive. Now, I've never been there. I've just seen photos and so. But you can drive right next to a massive wetland system. And that is just amazing. So you can kind of imagine this whole area kind of like a little floodplain. We're going to put in some deeper water as well, because we are going to put in some hippos later on as well. Oh, now, we have gotten another tree that we technically need to get rid of, or start getting rid of. And I'll show you that one in a moment. Okay, we're just increasing the wetland area. We just need to keep an eye on our money. It's very easy to run out of money when you start getting these expensive waterworks, for example. Okay, right, let's put a bit of deeper water over here as well. Connect it all so that the hippos can actually move between one area and another. There we go. The reason we are putting these little connections in here, hippos would most likely be following along there, most likely trampling some of the vegetation there, making it or enabling them to run. Hippos don't swim, surprisingly. You would think hippos would swim, but they actually don't swim. What they do, though, is they run underground or underwater on the ground, not underground. Imagine a hippo underground. But no, they actually will run along the bottom of the river here, and they form these channels, and they follow these channels. And yeah, they would be running all over the show over here. Speaking of... No. Will, don't get ahead of yourself. Put in some grass, because hippos are grazers. So we need to put in some grasses for them to actually eat. And we'll get back to the species of grasses we are planting as we get to it. But let's quickly... Oh, wait. Are all the trees actually without leaves? So it seems. No, we've got a camel thorn again. Sorry, camel thorn, you've got to come out. We can't have you. I would love to have you, camel thorn, but we can't have you. Oh, all our trees over here are dead. Shame. Okay. And interestingly enough, Amboseli has got a whole bunch of dead trees, and it is quite possibly due to rising water levels. The water table is rising, but that water table that is rising is actually quite saline. It's salty, and it is killing a whole bunch of trees in large areas of the park. So they are trying to kind of move the forest to another area, re-establish forests, or establish trees or forests in different areas away from where they used to be. Now, these trees we've got over here, we also do need to take out. These are what we call winter thorns. I believe the game calls them winter thorn. There we go. As you can see from this pod over here, also an acacia, and those subdivided leaves over there. Also acacia. This is Acacia albida, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it's not Fachelia, it's something else. It's not Fachelia, it's not Senegalia, it's a completely Fey something. But that name, that tree, yeah, the winter thorn, it is very interesting because it actually has its leaves during the dry season. When most other trees have dropped their leaves, these guys still have their leaves. And then during the summer months, I believe they drop their leaves and the other trees have leaves. So they have leaves when other things don't have leaves, which makes them an incredibly important fodder species. But they don't occur in Amboseli. So unfortunately, we're doing some control of species over here. They're not indigenous to this area, so we have to take them out. Sorry, winter thorns, also known as the Ana tree, A-N-A tree. We also call that, in South Africa, we call them that as well. Let's see, Firedark also says, it seems the gameplay you've been wanting recently. It really is an amazing, fun game, this. Really, really an awesome game. I absolutely love this game. It's difficult to get a hold of and difficult to actually get running. Yeah, you can't get it at all, like in Steam or so, but you can. I still have the discs of mine from year 2002, I think it was, I got it, or the year 2000 I got it. That's when I started playing this. I still have it, and then also I know you can get it in some areas and some websites. I think myabandonware.com is one place you can get it and can possibly get it running. Now, let's see. Okay, the population of savanna hare is kind of fluctuating. Let's just see here. Yeah, it's increasing overall over a 5-year period. You can see it is increasing, and we are currently hitting that exponential growth phase over there. Doesn't look like it when you zoom into one here, but you can see the overall trajectory here potentially going up, maybe slowing down, who knows. But look at that, over the 100 years, like, spike over there. I love playing around with the things here. Let's see, what does the ecologist also say? I scanned the park with my binoculars this morning, searching for lions. I'd like to see more. And the beautiful running leopard in the sunset. Put in some leopards and we'll enjoy together. And then lastly, a full-grown rhino is a beautiful sight. Do me a favor and put a few in this park. So the ecologist there really just actually aiming mostly for the big 5. That's what she really is aiming for. We can put sedges in, that we can also put in. We'll put that all along the water here. So the sedges here, this is, what is the, it's not cyperus. I think it may be cyperus is the genus name. Esculentus. Esculentus meaning edible, because this one forms an edible nut. Well, we call it a nut, but it's not a nut. It's actually a tuber, underground tuber that it forms. Also known as tiger nut, and you may occasionally find tiger nut milk in places to buy. We have tasted it before. It's all right. It's not great. I know Nick is not a fan of it at all, and I'm not partial to it at all either. So we are going to place this around though. This plant in particular, this sedge, the tiger nut, is a potentially very invasive species. and it is invasive all over the world. I believe it is indigenous to East Africa, so we can put it over here, no problem. But yo, it is a problem plant in a variety of areas. I think Southern Europe has problems with it. Asia has got problems with it. It's in many of these hotter areas, or in many hotter areas, you can expect to find a few of these. It's going to bug me. Is it Caryx? Maybe it's Caryx esculenta. What is it? Sedge. Oh, it is Cyprus. Cyprus esculentus. That is the sedge name here. Okay, great. So now we know at least. There we go. Great stuff. And yeah, fire duck indeed. A subterranean hippo would be a very, very scary thought. Okay. Oh, my goodness. The vehicle there is stuck. Okay, we just deleted the vehicle. I guess that is one way to go about doing it. We need a new vehicle. We need a new vehicle. Now, of course, now that we have hired some staff, suddenly there also is more life in the camp over here. Oh, well, we're already on 2 stars at the top there. Yeah, I believe, yeah, you can see. Oh, we were on 3 stars, I see a moment ago. We are now back up to 2 stars. Okay. How's our finances looking? So the finances and stuff like that, it's really basic. But, you know, for me, when I was a kid growing up, this was great. This was a great way to see, okay, this is how much I've made. This is how much I've spent. Now, I do have to spend money to make money. So, yeah, there's a thing to do, something to keep in mind of. All right. What we can also do is perhaps have a few tents. Okay, I think we should have a bit of a tented area as well. So let's have the tents along here. We're going to place the tents not out in the sun. We're going to put some trees with them because, well, this is Africa after all. Things can get hot and we don't want to cook our poor visitors before they have a chance to enjoy the park. So what we are going to do is we're going to place again some nice thorn trees here, and just like that, and we're going to plant some sausage trees. Hopefully they remember not to actually, you know, go and stand under the sausage trees. And then we can include some acacia nigrescens. We can include the what are these called? The knob thorns. That's what they're called, the knob thorns. There we go. This actually is a nice little spot. I would camp over here. I would stay in these tents. Very, very nice. Very easy to stay in. It's basically glamping before glamping was even a thing. And then what we also need perhaps is just a few more showers for them to also just enjoy. There we go. Just like that. We're just going to connect it all and then connect it to the path up there. And you know what? Connect it to the path over there as well. Okay. I think that's all we need to do for now over here. We've got blinds. People can go and have a look out there. We've got some vehicles. You know what? I think we need more vehicles. Maybe that is what we need. We're going to have some more 4-door cars, which also means we need 2 more villagers to drive for us. Oh, we do need another. Let's put 2 attendants down there. 2 more scouts, and let's go for 1 more cook. Do it. And as you can see here, okay, let's see. Our new well improves the villagers' chances of surviving future droughts. Now, Amboseli has just actually come out of a horrendous drought, one of the worst that the reserve or the park has actually seen. So apparently now it is much greener than it was last year or the year before then. But here we go. We've got a nice little fence that has also been constructed. And it's a very crude fence, but it should do the trick to kind of keep out some of the animals. Now, this will not stop an elephant. Elephants will burst through this. Almost no problem. They are massive. They're massive, massive creatures. It's difficult to understate how big, or to overstate how big these elephants actually are. So yeah, you do not want to mess with elephants. Okay, if they want to come through here, they are going to come through here. One thing that people have actually used to try and keep elephants out of these cornfields, for example, would be chilies, and something known as a chili bomb. A chili bomb sounds like something you would eat, you know, sounds like a nice little spicy food you want to eat. But what people in, I believe, Botswana, amongst other places have done, is they take elephant dung, and this is to keep elephants away. So you take the thing that is causing chaos. I see, Nicola, you're also in the chat. Hello there, hello there. Welcome to the chat and to the stream. Glad you are here with us. But yeah, so what do people do to keep out elephants? They take elephant dung, and then they mix it with ground up chili flakes or powder basically, and make it nice and spicy. And then they make these bricks and they let it dry. And once it is dry, they place it out all across here. So let's say you've got your little village here, you place these chili bombs all over the place. And if you know the elephants are coming into the area, you set those chili bombs alight. You start burning them. And that causes the capsaicin in the chilies to actually become airborne. And elephants are very sensitive. Their noses, at least, very, very sensitive, and it burns them. It's like pepper spraying elephants, in essence. And yeah, that apparently works all right in some areas, at least. It's one of the amazing methods people have tried to keep out elephants from their fields. It has had a weird side effect, though, and that is that where people normally would be planting corn and stuff like that to grow, now people are planting the chilies to supply the demand for chilies, and they're actually switching away from food to growing something that they would only really be growing to protect their food. So they're experiencing some shortages of certain stuff because we want to make some money. So rather grow chilies because you get a lot of money for the chilies to keep elephants out of the cornfields. You don't get money for the cornfield, not as much money for the cornfields. So yeah, elephant dung. Yeah, that is one of the first things one generally would hear in some of my streams. Hey, Notolo, I'm pretty sure. I love talking about elephant dung. Elephants overall, really awesome. Let's just check. Oh, holy hopping hares, Robin. We've got a lot of savanna hares, you see. No, I wanted to go, there we go, the graph. Okay, we are currently on 100 and something. And you can see the population is increasing. Look at that. Over the 10-year period, just looking at it like that, this is looking very drastic. Now, we can still change it around. We can still change it around. So let's have a look. And this is where food webs come in. Here's the savanna hare. As it is in the game, here's still Lepus victoriae. But let's see. It is eaten by all carnivores, apparently by vultures as well, eagles and snakes. Now, the only vultures that really would be able to catch them would be the lappet-faced vulture. That is the one that would really be able to catch them. We don't have lappet-faced vultures in the game here. We just have white-backed vultures, but that is all right. We also have eagles. We've got the martial eagle. They would definitely be going for them. Martial eagles also would go for these monitor lizards over here, Varanus albigilaris. They love going for them as well. And then they also would go for a variety of other smaller things. Let's just see here. All other carnivores. You know what we are going to bring in? I do want to bring in some predators. But which ones can we bring in? Wild dogs are not really in Amboseli. They are next door in one of the other reserves, but they're not in Amboseli itself. Maybe they would have occurred there in the past, but they are not there now. So I don't want to bring in wild dogs. Technically, the baboons would even be able to eat the hares, if I'm not mistaken. But what we are going to go for, you know what? We're going to go for a pack of hyenas. There we go. So we've got some hyenas over there. These are the spotted hyenas, crocuta. And interesting, this little one over here is looking at some fruit, perhaps up in the tree, or maybe looking at where a leopard has cached a prey animal up at the top there. It's looking to get to something up there. We've got 5. We just introduced all 5 of them there. The main predators would be lions, but sometimes the lions win in fights between hyenas and lions. Sometimes the hyenas win in fights between hyenas and lions. So it's very fierce competition between them. They prey generally large mammals, small mammals, antelope overall. They love the typical predators. They occur in these very relatively tight-knit family groups. Females are in charge there. It is a matriarchal society. And yeah, the males are really, and a rabbit just disappeared, a hare just disappeared. Should not call them rabbits, they are hares. But yeah, the males are really submissive. Yeah, that's the term. They are really submissive compared to the females. The females are really dominant. But the reason I should not be calling these hares rabbits is because hares and rabbits are actually very, very different. Yes, they are all lagomorphs. They're hares and rabbits and pikas and stuff all grouped together. But the rabbits will have babies which we call altricial. Altricial meaning they can't fend for themselves when they're born. They're basically blind and useless and quite pathetic. Like a human baby. Like Wilson is altricial. They're not able to start running around and doing their own thing. But hares, like these savanna hares over here, shortly after birth, they can start moving around. They can start walking. They can start running. They can do a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I just want to check. We can actually take the disasters. Disasters can happen. Let fire happen if it wants to happen. But yeah, the hares, their babies are what we call precocial, meaning that as soon as they are born, they're pretty much active and can start doing their thing. So very, very different. Rabbits, altricial babies. The hares, precocial young. There we go. We actually have a martial eagle flying around over here as well. They are vulnerable, classified as vulnerable worldwide. Their numbers are decreasing, but they are one of the largest eagles we've got in Africa. And they are capable of taking down even small antelopes. So they really are amazing predators. We've got 3 of them. And you know what? 3 sounds like a good number to have on this reserve, because they have massive territories that they will hold. Usually male and female will hold the territory together. They'll have a nest somewhere in the big tree, somewhere in that landscape, and then they will be feeding on whatever they can find, small antelope and stuff like that in the landscape. And monitor lizards, all those types of things. And unfortunately, though, they are really prosecuted by humans or persecuted by humans. In South Africa, for example, in many areas, they have been shot out because people say that though they catch the sheep and stuff, and yeah, sure, maybe they'll be able to catch a sheep here and there, but they really are doing an amazing job at keeping other things under control, which you may not necessarily want competing with your livestock or stuff like that. It's a top predator, and people tend to shoot them out, unfortunately. In South Africa, in the Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and Northern Cape provinces together, I think there's like 200 of them in a massive, massive area. So very, very low densities these guys are. Now, let's just quickly check. I want to check what baboon have we got. They call him the Savannah baboon here. Papio cynocephalus. Cyno referring to dog, cephalus head. So this is the dog-headed baboon, because Papio is baboon. So Papio cynocephalus, this is the yellow baboon. We've got in Amboseli, we've got yellow baboons, but we also have got the olive baboons. They also occur there. In South Africa, we don't have either of those. We've got the Chakma baboon in South Africa, which is the southern species of baboon. Then we've got the Hamadryas baboon in Ethiopia and Djibouti and southwestern Arabian Peninsula. We've got the Guinea baboon in West Africa, and we've got another baboon somewhere which I can never remember the name of. I think we've got 6 species of baboons, all found in Africa/Arabia. All right. Now, what we really need to start looking at, let's have a look. The sedges are holding their own over here. Okay, they're growing over there. That's great. Okay. We have got massive grasslands that are establishing, and that should be able to... Okay, we've got a problem. We have got a problem. We've got a lot of hares. What is our hare population standing on? Oh, okay, it's slightly coming down, but not really much. Okay, 180. Oh, no, it's stabilized. Never mind, it's stabilized. Around about 180, it seems. That's a lot. That is a lot. Oh, no, 230. This is not updated, is it? No, it's still going up. Oh, there we go, 230. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay, we need to do something. What we are going to do is we are going to introduce black mambas. Let's introduce some snakes. We're going to bring them in. Now, the snakes over here, the black mamba, they are highly, highly venomous. Dendroaspis angusticeps. No, polylepis. Angusticeps is the green mamba. The black mamba here, so-called not because of their coloration. Oh, I think we've got a drought. We actually have a drought hitting. So in the picture here, it seems quite black. It's actually a grey, a glossy bluish grey color. But the black is actually inside the mouth. When they open their mouth, yeah, inside it is dark. It is black inside. And that's where they get the name black mamba from. It says here that it's the most dangerous African snake. That is debatable. The Cape Cobra, which we have in South Africa, may actually be more venomous than the mamba. They are terrifying. We had one in our yard earlier this year. Yeah, we don't want that ever happening again. The black mamba's bite leaves its victim dead within minutes. Depends. I know of people that have been bitten and survived for 2 hours or so while they got help. So maybe not minutes. It's very rarely you're going to die in minutes. If maybe you've got a horrible heart or your nervous system is shot, maybe. Because this is a neurotoxic venom, it will affect your breathing, your heart, all those types of things. So yeah, in severe cases, maybe dead in minutes, usually a little bit longer than that. It's the fastest snake in the world. Taipan may give it a run for its money. When alarmed, it speeds towards its hole in the ground, attacking any living creature in its path. Not true, it won't attack you. It will try to just get away from you as quickly as it can. But yes, when alarmed, it will run, or it will slither away to its hole. It will try to hide. They are not going to come at you. This is not like the come at you bro snake. Snakes don't do that. Instead, they want to get away as quickly as they can. Because if they attack you, there's a chance you're going to fight back and kill them in the process. They don't want that. But if they just try to get away, maybe they've got a chance at survival, which is what all they really, really want. Now, one thing we don't really have a lot of at the moment at all are these vultures. So let's see here. There we go. Catching something on the ground here. There is the vulture. This is the white-backed vulture, most likely. I just want to quickly check whether it is. We only have 2 in the park. Oh, no, we need many more. We need a lot more vultures. And I'll talk about why in a moment. The Field guide, birds, vulture, 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 vulture. Gyps africanus, yeah, that is the white-backed vulture. All right, and listen to this sound. Yeah, it's this screeching sound. They are very, very vocal, especially around a carcass. So let's see, it says these scavenger birds have beaks that are too weak to open a carcass until it has rotted. Maybe they can. The weak points, usually at the loin, that's where they start being torn apart. That's where most scavengers will actually open up the carcass. From there, it's a big hole you can just enter quite easily. Thus, these birds of prey rarely hunt live food. Yeah, they rarely do. Sometimes they do, but rarely will they actually hunt. They usually just gorge themselves on carcasses. Yeah, so that's basically what they will be doing. And then sit with the wings outstretched, facing away from the sun. Yeah, very often you will see them with their wings open, just kind of sunbathing. But interesting with vultures is that you can very easily spot a carcass by looking at the vultures, because they will be circling. They use thermals, hot air rising, to fly high up into the sky, and then they fly. And when they spot a carcass down below somewhere, they actually start circling down. And you'll see a whole bunch of vultures spiraling down together. And you know, there was a kill over there. You can go and have a look and see if you can find the lions or leopard or whatever has actually caught something and killed something there. I'm hoping you guys can actually hear these sounds. So can you guys hear the sound at all? If I, for example, open up the map here, can you hear the music, or can you not hear the music at all? That's dependent on that. The eagle, I don't think the eagle had a call. The vulture did have, but let's see here. Let's go look at, where's the eagle? That's a martial eagle. Okay, that's not a martial eagle's call, though. That is not a martial eagle's call. That is, in fact, that's a fish eagle's call. That's a fish eagle's call. Anyway, all right. I'm assuming that the sound actually isn't clear. So I'll have a look and see. Maybe I need to quickly address that. Oh, you can't hear anything other than me. Okay, so let me... Oh, you know what? It's actually not showing. Okay, so now it should show. Okay. Yeah, I think I may be fixing that now. Oh man, that sucks. Sorry guys. I was really hoping you would be able to hear me. Oh man. Okay, so hopefully you all can hear me now. Okay, so if we look... No, that's grass. Grass does not have a sound. No, that's also grass. Doesn't have a sound. There we go. There's the vulture. Wanted to actually play the sound. So I'm hoping now that the sound isn't overwhelming. That's the thing. Because sometimes it can be very, very overwhelming. I wanted to go here to vulture. I wanted to play you this sound. There we go. This harsh screeching sound that they will make. This is the sound that vultures typically will make. They don't have beautiful sounds at all. Alrighty. Oh, my goodness. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm so sad about the fact you didn't hear any sounds there whatsoever. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Hares. Savannah hares. Okay, I don't know. How many have we got? How many have we got? Way too many. 618. 618. Okay, this is where the vultures come in. Come on, vultures. Now, we need a whole bunch of vultures. Now, the vultures are extremely important. In this case, because they are going to keep the rabbits in check, hopefully. But also because vultures are nature's cleanup crew. Whenever there is a carcass, these guys come in and they do the cleanup. Unfortunately, both in Asia and in Africa, vultures are going extinct. And they are going extinct at a tremendous rate. In Asia, I think it has been slowed. I think the extinction there is kind of halted. But some species, 99.9% of the population, gone within a 20 to 30 year period. And that's because of the use of diclofenac, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug used to treat cattle if they are sick and they have inflammation. Unfortunately, diclofenac is highly poisonous to vultures, results in kidney failure and the organs just shutting down, and they die a horrendous death. So that's in India and Nepal and those areas. That was a problem. In Africa, however, it's mostly intentional poisoning for traditional medicine, because the vultures are used in muti in a variety of areas, and as a result, their populations are dropping. The white-backed vultures we have over here, so-called because on their rump there's a bit of white feathers there. They used to be the most common vulture we have in Africa. Like the Kruger National Park would have thousands of them. Now the numbers, like in Asia, but due to diclofenac in Asia and due to hunting or poisoning in Africa, the numbers have dropped tremendously. And just now, recently, there were 2 poisoning events in Kruger National Park. I believe the one was, not sure where the other one was, I think also Kruger. About 200 or so in one poisoning event. 200 vultures dead. And what people do is they put out a carcass, like usually an elephant carcass, full of poison, and the vultures come and scavenge and they die in droves. And then people just come and harvest the dead vultures for muti or for traditional medicine. And that is unfortunately resulting in their extinction. And if we're not careful, we are going to see their extinction within our lifetime, which will be a tremendous shame. Okay, so one thing we do have here as well, an animal which shouldn't be in this park, is the wild dog over there, Lycon pictus. This appears to just be a single individual. Yeah, there is just one individual at the moment, and it is tearing apart an impala over there. However, Lycon pictus, the wild dogs we don't have in Amboseli National Park, so we're just going to catch it and release it elsewhere. Ah, there we go, Bob. Welcome back to the stream. I'm happy to see you here as well. Let's see, what does our business manager have to say? We must be doing something right. People are coming from all over the world, and our beds are full. Now, we have been making, actually, quite a bit of money. Yeah, we've spent less than we got in, which is great. We can actually... Yeah, last year we made a total of $56,000. Yes! That's about more than R1 million in South African terms, so that's quite a lot of money. About R1 million, almost R1 million. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it's almost R1 million. So what we can now do is actually start getting some fancier accommodation. Let's put in a lovely lodge at the back here. We're going to place another lodge right over here. And these lodges, oh, they are expensive. But, you know, we're going to give these guys the most luxurious time in our park. And there we go, this nice little dining area as well, a fancy, luxury dining area for use only by people in these luxury lodges. Now, in order to really have the luxury lodge look nice, we're going to, of course, plant some trees. There we go. Now, even though these are sausage trees, sausages are not edible. These sausage trees do not have edible fruit. You don't want to eat it at all. In fact, I believe it is poisonous to us as humans, so we don't want to eat it at all. Here we go, nice little naturey, foresty area over there. And let's see now that we've got that. We most likely need another cook or another chef, and we need some more attendants. Now, I think what we can also do is perhaps right over here, where everybody can come and watch, we're going to have a nice little amphitheater. To the amphitheater we go. Okay, and for me this was always marvelous, actually, going to Kruger National Park, for example. We never really got the chance to really see anything at the amphitheater, but they have got these projectors on, and you can actually go and have a look, and very often they show documentaries, like on a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock, they would have a documentary going, and you could go and watch that. And that was always amazing. At least the anticipation of watching it was quite awesome. Okay, we need another 4 drivers. Okay, we cannot go without our drivers and our scouts. Let's go 3 more naturalists, and we'll go 3 more attendants, and we'll go 2 more cooks as well. Let's see. We now have another Uzoma. Uzoma the second is an excellent driver and should serve us well. All right, there we go. Village finally has a health clinic. Many more of our children will now survive. The villagers are very happy. Oh, that's marvelous. There we go. There's the clinic. You can see the hospital bed outside as well. And of course, in areas like this, I think I hear a locust outbreak. I hear flies. Oh, look at that. It's a locust plague. It's a locust plague. That's marvelous. We've had the drought. We've had locusts. Now all we need is fire. And then we'll have all the plagues that we had. Alrighty. Now we are going to just let this go. There's nothing really we can do. We can have our vultures and stuff and birds eating the insects. Locusts are an incredible source of food. So even though we've got a catastrophe hitting here or a disaster hitting here, this is natural. This is important. Alright, I thought I heard, like, sounded like mosquitoes, but it's actually like swarms and swarms of locusts. And I've got a short up as well on my channel that if you go to shorts there, you'll see it's horrible quality, but I took it, when was that, 3 years ago, that we actually saw a plague of locusts. We saw the tail end, because my leg was broken. We couldn't go and have a look at it in the middle of the swarm, when it was really, really swarming in the millions or billions. But towards the end of that plague outbreak, we did finally get to see the locusts, and that was an amazing sight. But yeah, if you go to shorts, you should be able to see it. I think it's one of the, if not, I think it's actually the first short I put up on the channel. You'll see it there. It's just awesome to see locusts flying in their millions and millions and millions. Oh, lovely. Okay, anyway, as I was saying about the camp here, not the camp, the village, there we go, with the hospital that they've got here, or the clinic. Especially in rural areas, treatment of diseases is really difficult. So access to medicine is something that prevents the villagers from really doing well. So having the clinic over here is really a major step for this village. That, along with the wells they've got, that will help them survive the drought, which will allow them also to water their crops even in drought. They will have access to water. All of that is really, really great, and the village is starting to do quite well. That, along with the fact that they've got a fence to protect themselves and their crops from lions and elephants and all those types of things, that is absolutely marvelous. Alright, let's see. What does our business manager say? Just spoke to another ecstatic visitor. She's thrilled with the park. Okay, so there's not much we can do there, it seems. I see ice chicken. It's like the exact opposite of fire duck there, Bob. Let's see. How many do we have of the savannah here? I think we've got way too many. Oh, we can't see that there. Oh, yeah, it's still very high. More than 1,000, it seems. Oh, goodness me. Okay, let's have a look. Ah, come on, there we go. Okay, just under 1,000. 958. These small mammals rest during the day, lying in depressions in the grass called forms. That's true. You very often, if you walk through the veld and there are hares amongst the bushes there, you won't see them. You will just suddenly get like a heart attack because they wait until you are right on them and then poof, they bolt. And if you go and look there where they actually were hiding, you can see there's this little depression in the ground. Very often under a shrub, you'll see this little scraped out burrow, like not the burrow, but like a little hole in the ground, like a little depression. Only about this deep, very shallow, very, very shallow. And that's where they were resting. And then as soon as they get close, or if you get close to them, they wait, and when you get right on top of them, they jump out and they run. And the idea is that they want you to get a fright, they want you to be caught off guard, because if you know they're there, you can stalk them and you're not scared of them, you don't get a fright at all. But if they wait until you are right on top of them, you don't know they're there, and they jump up, you get a fright. And then you have a second or two that you are startled while they are running away. And sometimes that 1 or 2 seconds is all they need. It gives them the opportunity to actually run and get away. Alright, now. It's 958, already dropping to 744. So the population is dropping. I think I know why it's dropping. It's twofold, I think. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it's coming down. It's twofold, or threefold perhaps. It looks like there is a cycle. So wet season, dry season, wet season, dry season. Okay, so there is a rhythm over here. Very interesting that I can actually see that in the game here. So whenever it is green, there are more births happening. So the savanna hares are doing better. I think the population was also kind of coming down because of the locusts. That's also eating most of their food, but then also the predators we have started bringing in. Now we do need a few more predators. So what can we bring in? That is now the question. You know what? Cheetahs. There's a coalition of 3 cheetahs over there. There's another coalition of 3 cheetahs over there. There's a solitary cheetah over there. There's a female with 3 cubs. And there's another solitary cheetah over here. Okay, so the reason I'm putting in some solitary cheetahs, those would usually be females. Females very often are alone unless they've got cubs. But then you sometimes also will have coalition of 3 or so, or up to 3 males very often that will stick together. Those are brothers that were from the same litter. They tend to very often stick together. Now, we are putting in a whole bunch of lions as well. There's a big pride down there, or up there, and another big pride down here. And we are going to put a very big pride over here, because there's lots of food for them. Okay, lions, of course, very territorial. This pride technically should be sticking to this area. They will be eating all kinds of stuff over here, whereas the pride of lions we put over here, somewhere over here, they should be sticking to this area, and the pride in the Southlands over here should be sticking to this area. Okay, but the size of the territory that they are defending will differ from pride to pride, and it very often the size of a territory is dependent on how predictable the food is in that area. So if there is always some food present, they tend to have smaller territories. But if the food is very unpredictable and animals move through the area, they migrate through, or they're nomadic and they don't stay in the area for long, they tend to have larger home range or larger territories, because having a larger territory means that you are always ensured that there will be some food in your territory. Even if the animals have moved away, there still would be some food in your territory. A large territory, usually in areas with an unpredictable food supply, and smaller territories very often in areas with more predictable food supply. Okay, now unfortunately, Lake Amboseli here kind of dried up in our last drought. So we are going to be spending some extra money here, just kind of bringing back, and unfortunately drowning quite a few animals in the process. But, you know, it's a rainy season. There is a little water droplet at the bottom there. This Lake Amboseli has flooded again. Okay. Brilliant. Lake Amboseli flooding. Okay, I do think the locusts have passed. All we have left now are these little dots in the landscape. These technically, like, I think in the game they are supposed to like be scars in the landscape left behind by the locusts moving through. But in essence, what I like to view them as would actually be little areas where these locusts have laid eggs. Because locusts, oh, it's really amazing. They will lay two types of eggs. Very often they will lay eggs that are, in some cases, they hatch very, very soon after being laid. So they don't have a dormant period. Whereas they can also lay eggs that have a dormancy built into them. So they actually are not constantly, they don't hatch immediately. They wait a year or two and then they hatch. You know, when the right conditions are around, when there's a lot of rain, for example, that has fallen and the soil is nice and wet, then they actually hatch. So by laying two types of eggs, they ensure that if it's still a good year, lots of food for a nice plague outbreak, those eggs that hatch without or that are laid without a dormancy in them, they can hatch immediately and make use of those great conditions that are available in the area. So lots of food, and they can quickly build up the numbers. But there is always going to be the chance that that food is going to dry up soon, perhaps. So you don't want to always have your eggs hatching immediately. You want some of them with a dormancy, because if the food runs out, the locusts die. There's no food for them. They can fly, yes, but you know, they're probably going to start dying off, and the population is going to crash. But if you've got dormancy built into your eggs, some of those eggs can hatch next year, or next month, or 3 months from now, when there again may be some food, but less competition for the food, and they can survive, and you hold out until there is another great year for another plague outbreak. It's really amazing. I love locusts. I love plagues like that. It's an amazing thing to see. It's an amazing occurrence in nature, and it is incredibly important for them to actually occur. And I'm sure at some point I will be talking a little bit more about that as well. But locusts and all kinds of plagues, oh, they really are awesome. Let's just quickly check here our hare population. There we go. It's going down. It's going down quite nicely, actually. 458. So there we go. In a steep decline. Okay, this most likely because of the locust, the food shortage, and the predation. That is really, really awesome. What does our ecologist actually say? Elephants are not well represented in the park. Try to get some, will you? Ah, yes. We do need to get some elephants. Now, to get elephants, we are going to need a bit more grasses, but also perhaps a few more trees. These trees are just barely holding on down here in the south. We are going to bring in some more umbrella thorns again. And you know what? We're also going to bring in along the river here, or the lake, we are going to bring in some bush willows. That's going to be quite nice and representative of the environment you typically have along these rivers. And I know Ilala palm doesn't occur here, but there is a... Oh, there we go, another drought has just hit. There is another palm in the Hyphaene genus that the Ilala palm belongs to that does occur in Amboseli. So we are going to just say that it is that Hyphaene species. And then we also have the Phoenix reclinata, which is the reclining date palm that actually also occurs in Amboseli. So we're just going to say it's those palm trees that we have over here. Also going to bring in some sausage trees. They can occur all over the show. It is now we're back in the dry season, it seems. A severe drought has hit again. I'm surprised we haven't had a fire yet. I'm really surprised the ecologist hut over here is still standing. Usually it is the first to go. And then I think we're just going to put in a few marulas as well. Elephants, oh, elephants love marulas. And not only in the way that you may imagine. Okay, we're going to just put that in there. And along here, along the lake edge, we're going to put a few more marulas as well. They're not very common in Amboseli. Really, really quite rare. But there are some in the area. Okay, so what we do still need, we do need zebras. How many zebras do we have? We've got, 111, 111, that's nice. Wildebeest, 126. So nice herds of wildebeest and zebra. We have got that already. Okay, we've got warthogs as well. Kind of quite a few, it seems. Oh, not quite a few, only 12. Shame, okay. We've got those. We've got lots of hares. How many hares at the moment? 295. It's still going down. I see, Bob, you say you're out of school now. That's marvelous. Is it holiday now, or are you just done for school for the next day or two or so? Oh, there is a little car that is stuck. Why did you have to go and do that? There's no off-roading allowed in Amboseli, which actually is true. You're not allowed to drive off-road in Amboseli. You're only allowed to drive on the road. So I'm very angry at that vehicle over there, that tour operator that drove off the road there. Not what they should be doing. Naughty. Very, very naughty. Alright, I hear the hare there still. Okay, we do need a bit of grasses still. The grasses have been suffering, partly because of the hares, partly because of the drought, partly because of the locusts. And what we are bringing in here are what we call red oat grass, or at least what the game calls red oat grass. I know this as red grass. And it has this characteristic triangular seeds that it has at the top there. This is a very, very palatable grass. It is a very important grazing grass. It is, in South Africa at least, probably the most palatable grass for animals to actually eat. If you've got a lot of that in your park or in your reserve, you know, there's a lot of grazing for them, for the animals. That is marvelous. Oh, I hear something. There's a fire. Where's the fire? No, the fire has already stopped. There was a fire. And now I don't even know where it was. It wasn't able to spread from one area to another, unfortunately. Anyway, so there was a fire. What was I even talking about? Oh, red oat grass? I think, yeah, red oat grass. And another plant that is also very, very nice, if you do have it, are these not lead thorns, knob thorns. Acacia nigrescens. These trees are extremely palatable for browsers, so a lot of your browser species would be going for them. So we're going to put a lot of that in. If you have, in South Africa at least, if you've got the knobthorn and red grass on your reserve, things are good. Things are really, really good. Okay, we've got a grass plain over here. This is great. This is actually really reminiscent of how things are in Amboseli as well. The northern section is pretty much a wasteland, but there is this massive, a lot of rabbits just went and got born. It looked like it. Maybe not, maybe not. Okay, anyway, but there is a dust bowl to the north, or actually to the south as well. Anyway, it's a beautiful area. I would love to actually go visit Amboseli. Haven't been there myself. Oh wow, we've got a lot of monitor lizards here. So you know what? We've got such a large population of these monitor lizards. Let's bring in some vultures. Because these martial eagles would love nothing more than to actually eat some of these monitor lizards. Let's have a look at them though. Here we go. Interesting. It looks kind of more like a Komodo dragon over here, and they don't really scavenge like this one does. Instead, they feed mostly on beetles and stuff like that. They say, yeah, insects. I'm not sure why it looks like it's eating a carcass over there. That's Komodo dragon that does that. That is not this one. Komodo dragon is also in the Varanus genus, same as the monitor lizard over here. Just want to quickly check, is this Varanus albigillaris? That is now the question. The white-throated monitor, or the felt monitor, or rock monitor. Oh no, it is Varanus exanthematicus. Oh, I don't even know what species that is. I'm used to Niloticus and used to Albigilaris. Those are the species we've got here in South Africa. Yeah, I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, I'll have to have a look for that one. Alright. Now the drought has passed. And with that, I believe the grasses are going to start doing a little bit better. So what we are going to do is we're going to place a bunch of Bermuda grass over here. Also called couch grass. Oh, and just as I say that, look what has spawned again. We are hit with another locust outbreak. Right, shame. The poor grazers are really battling because, well, the locusts here are really feeding on all the grasses they can get. So we're going to have... Like, I know we are placing grass down now, but it's just going to get eaten by the locusts in a moment. But look at that, we've got a crocodile as well. Hello, Crocky. Nile crocodile. I do have a problem with it. That snout over there is too rounded. Nile crocodiles, or crocodiles overall, have a much sharper snout than alligators. That's more of an alligator snout over there. Look, the coloration is kind of right for it to be Nile crocodile, but the snout should be much narrower, not as wide in front there. Yeah, this is literally the only one. Doing fairly well in protected areas. These large and dangerous reptiles face numerous threats. Water pollution, irrigation projects, and landowners protecting their land. Crocodile farms have animals ready for reintroduction if areas become available. Although crocodile farms usually just go for meat production and leather production. That's kind of the purpose of crocodile farms, not really reintroduction of crocodiles. Let's just open up this area so the crocodile can actually swim in a variety of areas. Is that a fire? I believe I'm hearing a fire as well. I'm not sure where. Here. There's a fire burning down all the trees that I planted a little while ago. Oh man. Our reserve is really hammered, or being hammered by all of the plagues. One would swear this reserve is in Egypt, with all the biblical plagues hitting all at the same time. Okay, now the fire has actually fizzled out over here, and that's mainly because there's almost no grass over here to actually carry the fire. And that's an interesting point, because if you have a game ranch, for example, or a farm that has been overgrazed, a lot of trees actually do very well then. They replace the grasses. Grasses get hammered by the grazers, by cattle, for example, eat all the grasses, and then the acacia trees, for example, a lot of them, their seedlings establish and survive, and they thrive. And then you end up with a system like this. Very few grasses between the trees. And even if fire does start, it's not going to burn through and kill all the trees. It's actually just going to fizzle out very quickly. Yeah, this is quite a fun little thing to actually observe. And oh my word, this southwestern corner over here is really being hammered by the plague. And this area up here as well. Yeah, we've got all of it. It was a you. Hello there, Wellington Wallace. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Glad you are here with us as well. Let's see. How are our rabbit population or our hare population going? 144. They are starting to disappear. That is actually great news. Secretary Bird, how many of you have we got here? 166. That is amazing. Sagittarius serpentis, I believe, is the... Or is it Sagittarius serpentarius? Let's check. The Secretary Bird. Secretary Bird. Yeah, Sagittarius serpentarius. That is the name. Serpentarius referring to snake, or a snake hunter in this case. So yeah, they are very good at killing snakes. They kick them to death, but they also will kick locusts and all kinds of stuff. They actually would be doing very well with this locust outbreak over here. They would be kicking just any locust they could find. I know Nick and I, a few years ago with that locust outbreak, we did see Secretary Bird enjoying itself trying to kick locusts to death and just walking and then kicking and then walking and kicking and just picking up a whole bunch of kicked to death locusts. That it was yeah, that's what they found. Let's have a look here. Our camp is doing quite well. Any suggestions? Spoke to another ecstatic visitor, thrilled with the park, great stuff. Dining facilities aren't up to par, you'll need to add a dining room. Okay, we can do that. Guests wanted to walk around, they go to a zoo, get some more cars. Okay. Wildlife, we need more biodiversity. We currently have low biodiversity. And poaching is quite low. Great stuff. Employees, add more attendants and scouts. Okay, can make a difference between a super or just so-so drive in the park. How about we get some more from the village? Okay, we can definitely do that. Let's actually have a bit more of a dining area. You know what? We're going to have, I think, like 2 of these. And we're just going to connect them to each other. Because I've got a suspicion we are going to now have a difficulty actually placing the paths, because what I'm also going to place down would be a luxury dining area. Okay, and then just connect it. There we go. And voila. Okay, so there's a nice dining area over here. We can have, I think, perhaps another lodge down here as well. I almost said food supply. Our money's looking tight, I'll be honest. It's looking slightly tighter. Tighter than I would have hoped. Oh, that is a horrible network of paths over there. But what we can also do is just have some... You know what, let's go for tents. Let's go for tents right over here. And we'll just have it like that. And connect it all up. And there we go. Okay. And of course we can have some more trees as well. Let's put some knob thorns in over here. This is knob thorn alley. There we go. Perfect. Nice and green. I like having a lot of trees in a camp. It makes it look nice. There's another fire apparently happening in our park. Or there was. Oh, there's another drought as well. Oh my word. Yo. I did not realize I was playing on hard difficulty. Oh, look, we have ostriches. We finally have ostriches. Oh, yes. Okay. We've got 22 ostriches. Oh, that's marvelous. Now, all the ostriches in the game here technically are male, because females are not black in color. They are browner in color. Males will sit on the eggs at night. Females will sit on the eggs during daytime, because in the night, at night, the black here of the males will be better camouflaged. And in the daytime, the duller brownish color of the female will be more camouflaged. So to keep the eggs nice and safe. We do have another wild dog that we're just going to catch over there. We don't want them in our park. They don't belong here. Just have to keep an eye. Wow, we've got a lot of secretary birds. Yeah, you do you. You do you. That's great. Great stuff. The locusts are still carrying on. Like it's going out of fashion. That is really interesting to see. Okay. Population graph. Oh, look at that. Look at that of the hares. So you can see where we started introducing predators, where the predator number also increased. You know what? We actually want to see. Where's the vulture? Let's check. Vulture. Oh, shame. Okay, so vultures were not the ones doing it. How about secretary bird? Were they the ones actually? No. I'm trying to see what caused the population of the hares to actually go down. It's not lions, was it? No, it's not lions. Monitor lizards, maybe not. Maybe not. Black mamba? Nope, because they are basically extinct. No more black mambas left. How about martial eagles? Nope, they're also very, very low in number. Okay, I honestly don't really know what has caused the numbers to go down. Park census. In terms of animals, what is really doing very well? Lion, 37. Plain zebra, secretary bird. Secretary bird may have been the one thing. But I mean, even they not. I don't know. Regardless of what happened, something happened. I think it was a combination of predators, lack of food, and the locusts basically causing the lack of food, resulting in the hare population just plummeting like it did, which is actually quite good to see. Quite nice. I would really like to get to 5 stars though. It's very difficult, however, if our plants and stuff keep on dying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say no more disasters. Let's just go with the way it is as it is now. Okay. Now we do need to hire more villagers. Okay, let's see. We need 2 more cooks. We need 3 more. Let's go 4 more attendants, and let's go for 2 more scouts. There we go. And we've got Errands also doing his duty around the camp there. Now our finances are really not looking great. So if we look here, last year we did make 113. Okay. 113,000, sorry, 113,000. We're actually doing alright. We still have spent less than we have made in year 18. Okay, we are in November, so it's almost the end of the year, but... Oh no! This is where the fire was. Oh no! Our dining room burned down. Well, that sucks. Let's put in another dining area, shall we? There we go. Let's replace that. Goodness me. Huh. Okay. Now, one thing we also do need is a swimming pool. Because, wow, it gets hot in Africa and we need to cool down. And we are going to cool down right next to the toilets because why not? And we're also going to put umbrella thorn trees there, which can have some of its nice thorny branches falling into the swimming pool because, you know, why not? So yeah, maybe the locust or competition for food supply. Indeed, indeed. I do think it is most likely competition that drove that... the disappearance of the savanna hares. I really do think it is most likely that. Okay, the locusts moving through this area over here. Up here, it's fizzling out. Now, this is mostly plains. Look at all the baobabs. This is the best the baobabs have ever done in a reserve I've made. Usually they just die out. Oh, why are you off the road? I see you. I see you. Naughty. Yeah, there we go. Building a road specifically to get this guy back to where he should be. Come on. Ah, no! There. Now, go home. Go home, Jerome. You're drunk. Jerome is not going home. Okay, yeah, fine. I just delete you. These drunk drivers in the park, I don't like them. What we can now do is, now that we will no longer have any more new locusts popping up, we can actually start regrowing our grasslands. The wetlands to the south here have completely dried up, unfortunately. We're going to have to bring in some more water soon. We are going to bring in sages as well. They did surprisingly well earlier, so hopefully now they will start recolonizing this area quite nicely. All along Lake Amboseli up here as well. Now what I really want is this Bermuda grass to also do very well, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But they basically form what we call grazing, or they are formed, grazing lawns. Grazing lawns being areas that are maintained as short grasses by the grazers. So constantly grazing and the grass is regrowing. Some grasses love that and they do very well. And you know, Bermuda grass or Cynodon dactylon or lawn grass or couch grass, all the same thing here, or quick grass is also called. That is one of those species that do very, very well. If you ever try to get rid of them in your garden, you'll know it's not easy to get rid of Cynodon dactylon, of the couch grass or quick grass or lawn grass, whatever you want to call it. Horrible, horrible stuff. I don't like them. Great for grazers. Not great when you've got a veggie garden and it's growing everywhere in your veggie garden. And look at that. Silence has descended upon our reserve once more. No more locusts all over the place. Okay, so the scars in the landscape will still remain, but after a while they will also disappear. I hear an elephant. I really don't know where the elephant is, but I hear an elephant. Okay, what we are going to do is we're going to reintroduce some umbrella thorns again. Hopefully they can actually establish. And then we are also going to have some sausage trees again trying to establish here. The thing is that the trees are very easily crowded out by the grasses. Oh, there we go. There's an elephant. How many elephants? I think this is the first elephant in our park. Person only. Yeah, shame. There's one elephant. Oh, shame. So African bush elephant, Loxodonta africana. Up until relatively recently, we only had one species of elephant classified in Africa, and that was the African elephant. Now it's been split into two different species because the bush elephant, or the bush elephant is different from the forest elephant in West Africa and in the Congo Basin. So yeah, that is Loxodonta cyclotis. This one is Loxodonta africana. Africana, of course, referring to of Africa. All right, now I think, yeah, we've got enough money. We can have a bit of a flood happening again. Increase Lake Amboseli in size. It's rained, it's rained, it's rained. And we have a bit more water in Lake Amboseli. There we go. Okay, come on. Oh, there goes another monitor lizard. Kind of connecting everything. And I think that is a nice little water body. The wetlands to the south here, however, largely gone. So we just have to reintroduce some water here. Unfortunately, a whole bunch of animals getting caught in the flooding. Okay. That was a wildebeest trying to be Jesus, walking on the water there, and now he is gone. That zebra is also now gone. Okay, a bit of a wetland system. Oh, sorry, lion. The wetland system has established. Again, thank you. So trees are crowded out by the grasses in this game, indeed. So the grasses will do very well. For some reason, I think it is because the trees here have a slower respawn rate, in essence, that they take longer to actually establish, whereas grasses establish like that, constantly expanding. And because the trees, they're basically at a disadvantage. Unless you've got a lot of grazers hammering the grasses the whole time, the trees are going to be eaten up more quickly than the grasses are, and the grasses are just going to take over. It's very easy to have a very open grassland ecosystem in this game. It's very difficult to have a dense woodland. I had it back in the day, 3-4 years ago. I did have some videos of SimSafari as well, and there I had it that I tried to bring, or try to have this dense savanna or dense woodland, change it into a grassland. Very easy to do that, and then I tried to get it back the way it was, and no, I could not. Even with overgrazing and keeping out the browsers and stuff, I could not get it back to a denser woodland. It just would not be that way. All right. Let's see here. Our finances have again taken a knock. Yeah, we have spent about double what we earned thus far. Okay. Cheers, Bob. Thanks for popping in. Good luck with the infected broodmother. I wish you the best of luck. I wish you all the best of fortunes in the war to come. All right. Now, today, I am also drinking from a nice cup over here. I've been waiting for a very, very long time to drink out of this cup, but since Wilson is here, I'm going to be drinking out of my Super Dad cup today. Let's see here. How is our Savannah hares? They're gone. They are completely gone, which is really, actually quite good. Oh, the bullfrogs also eaten to extinction, basically. Okay. Now, let's have a look here, because to get a 5-star rating, we do need the big 5. We need leopard, we need African elephant, we need African buffalo, we need leopard, we have leopard, we need lion, and we need white rhino. We need them in nice populations in order to actually get our 5-star rating. Everything else is kind of like a side thing. Side thing, business, side missions in essence, side objectives. There we go, that's the term. Oh, goodness me. Okay. Now, to get leopards, we will need to place down some animals that are medium-sized prey animals for them to prey on. And what we are going to go for would be impala. And again, these are all male because females don't actually have horns, only the males have horns. Apicerus melampus, really an awesome, beautiful antelope species, medium height, about a little bit over shoulder height, is about just above my hip height. They're medium sized, they're quite nice. A lot of animals will love eating them. Leopards, particularly fond of them. Now we have very few of them here, very, very few. Normally, these guys are everywhere. I'm not sure about Amboseli. I think they are not as common in Amboseli as they are in places like Kruger National Park, where they really are very common. They are mixed feeders though, so they will eat the grasses, as you can see here, but they also will browse whatever food that is available, they will go for. We also do need, oh, you know what, we can put in Thompson's gazelles. Because previously we couldn't put in the Tommies, because Thompson's gazelles don't occur in Kruger. We don't even have springbuck in Kruger. We've got nothing that looks like this in the Kruger National Park. And previously I tried to remake the Kruger National Park. Today, Amboseli, where you do have Thompson's gazelle. Now the springbuck looks exactly like that. Exactly like that. And I mean, that could be an example of convergent evolution, where two unrelated species or semi-unrelated species converge on the same design and the same look, same behavior, everything like that. And I think it is, in fact, that. Even in this case, I'm not sure whether Thompson's gazelle actually does the pronking, as it's called here, which the springbuck will do. They have got this pouch of hair on the back that they actually open up and they boing, boing, boing to show predators that, listen, I'm very fit, don't even waste your energy chasing me. It could also be a way to attract the female, or just to play, just for fun as well. But that's what we call the pronking that they will do. How many do we have? Oh, we only have 12. We only have the ones that we have introduced, and that's because they've all been eaten by the lions, I'm guessing. They are very quick. They are very, very quick. How many have we got? Oh, we've got 10. Already 2 have died. That is not great. That is really not great. We're introducing some herds here, but they are very likely going to be eaten again. What we really need are some buffer species. Buffer species are species that you introduce, like the wildebeest over here, that the lions will be eating statistically more of them than there are of your rarer species, or than they are going to eat of your rarer species. How many wildebeest do we have? Because we had like 100 and something. Yeah, 134. That's still quite a lot. Ostriches, you guys are doing well. 107. Zebras also had 100 and something. 146. We are establishing nice herds of them as well. I am going to just put in some more zebras as well. Very often found in these herds. And then along with them, we are going to put in some wildebeest. And these two species are very, very often found together. If you find the one, you're most likely going to find the other one as well. And that's because zebras have got excellent vision, not so good with the hearing or the sense of smell, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas wildebeest have got an excellent hearing, not so good with the vision. So they complement one another. And they basically, where the one is weak, the other one is strong. So they very often associate with one another in order to try and detect things like lions and other predators that could come and eat them. They don't want that, of course, so they associate with one another. Okay, so we've got a nice mixed herd establishing in this area as well. What other animals can we establish? Yeah, we can bring in oryx. The problem is that the oryx we have got in the game here is technically the gemsbok we have in southern Africa. It's Oryx gazella. We do not have that species in Amboseli National Park. We've got a different oryx species, but we do not have the Oryx gazella in Amboseli. So yeah, we can't. I'm not going to introduce oryx. If they happen to establish, then they happen to establish, but I'm not going to introduce them. We can also introduce maybe some more warthogs. They would do quite well. They really are such cute little critters. I mean, look at this. We already are back to a few baobabs that are surviving, but that's about it. Most of the plants we have got are grasses. Like, yeah, trees really are at a disadvantage in this game. Surprisingly so. Okay, you see, we do have some poaching. There is a dead animal over there. We're just going to remove that carcass. I don't think there are any others. Nope, don't see any other carcasses around. That is great stuff. Okay, we are on 4 stars. Some of the big 5 populations up to the good level, but I do not ignore the rest of them. Spotty friends and leopards are still scarce. So what we can do is we can just introduce some leopards. Now, leopards are solitary. So unlike the cheetahs, which we introduced sometimes 1 and sometimes 2 or 3, we are just going to introduce solitary individuals. They only really get together during, if a male is following a female to breed with her. That is it. That is the only time you are going to find that. Usually they stick to themselves. They don't go around other to one another. They avoid one another if they can. And if they do get too close, they will most likely fight a bit. Yeah, because they don't like any other individuals in their territory. And we don't want wild dogs. Come on, wild doggy. There we go. All right, let's see. Hornbill, what have we got? Yeah, you see this, or this could be von der Decken's hornbill right over here, which is an East African species. It could occur in the area around Amboseli. I know there are hornbills there. I'm not sure which species they have got there. Also, come to think of it, maybe this isn't actually von der Decken's hornbill at all. Hornbill. Oh, Flavirostris. That's the yellow-billed hornbill, actually. Flavus is yellow. Rostris referring to rostrum or beak. So that is the yellow-billed hornbill. Tocus. Tocco is the German name for it as well. Tocus is the scientific name or the genus name for them. And that's because of the sound they make. I'm not sure whether they've got the sound here. No, that's not the sound. That's not really the sound. So if you want to know what it really sounds like, it sounds more like a toco 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 toco. And because it sounds like it's saying toco 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 toco, it's tocus, or in German, toco. So a bit of random fun facts for you guys there, and sound mimicry that I'm making here. Anyway, let's see here. What else have we got? We've got hornbills. That's quite cool. Wildebeest are running around all over the show. Which ones are we left? Do we have any... Oh, elephants. Elephants are the one group that is still too low. Elephants and leopard. We do need to introduce some more leopards. Okay. Leopard over here. One down here. One over here. You wouldn't just willy-nilly be introducing leopards all over the show, because you first need to make sure that there actually is enough food for them, that there isn't a lot of competition for them, so you can actually release them and they can remain alive. It's no point you introduce them and then they die, because they get eaten by everything or killed by other predators, or they don't find food to eat. So yeah, we don't really want to just reintroduce them all over the show willy-nilly, but that is in essence what we are doing here. Okay, let's now have a look. Okay, so our lion population is increasing quite nicely. Our leopards have increased a bit. Buffalo have stabilized around 10. That's not a lot. How are the rhinos doing? The rhinos are doing surprisingly well. Yeah, they're around 26, 27, I think. That's quite cool. So what we can do is maybe we should bring in a herd of buffalo. I think so. Now, buffalo very often found in herds, so we are going to introduce a herd up here. A nice big breeding herd. You know what? That's what we're going to do over here. Big breeding herd of buffalo. And then occasionally what we also have are what we call Daga boys. Daga boys are males, solitary bulls, usually solitary bulls, sometimes 2 or 3 together. These are the old bulls. They're really old ones. They're also very aggressive because they are alone. They don't have a herd to protect them. They are extremely aggressive. Many people have been killed specifically by Daga boys. Daga referring to mud or cement, because they usually lie around in the pools or in the mud pools, and they very often coated with a layer of mud or Daga on their back. Okay, so we've got buffalo introduced now. Now all we need is a nice herd of elephants. So we're going to introduce a small herd over here, and maybe another herd, a bigger herd up here. And that should now be more than 10. There we go. Everything is now above 10. So technically we should be doing quite well now in terms of species. And soon we should get our 5-star rating. Now, in order to help it, one animal I am still going to introduce, I haven't introduced yet, are these guys, the Nile hippos. Is that Abdom Stork over there swimming around? Yeah, that is Abdom Stork. Now, Abdom Stork really wouldn't be swimming around like a black swan over there. Instead, they would mostly be wading around in shallow water and catching frogs and stuff like that, or just in the taller grasses. They would be running around there. This is the only one we have in the reserve. Shame. He has no friends. Now, one thing we can also put in would be these guys. The flamingos. There we go. You only place one in a little blocky. And if you don't place them in the shallow water, they will fly. If you place them in the shallow water, they just stand there, filtering out food particles, or food from the water here. So what they're filtering out would be microorganisms or small organisms in the water. Not krill, but like krill, for example. But usually in fresh water or in, well, it can also be in salt water quite often as well. But they get the pink color, and you can see the pink color there in the wings quite nicely as well. Come on. They get that pink color from their food. Naturally, flamingos are actually white in color, but the alpha carotene or beta carotene, one of the carotenoids in their food, actually, in the little crustaceans they eat, that and the algae they eat, that will give them the pink color. And if they don't get those carotenoids in, they will revert back to a white color, which doesn't kill them, but you know, they will revert back to that. So flamingos nest in colonies of thousands. They like swampy areas and build cone-shaped nests out of mud, stones and shells. As filter feeders, their beaks are screens that filter solids from swamp water. The single offspring eats food regurgitated by its parents. Lots to unpack there. Okay, so it's greater flamingos. First of all, we've got 2 species of flamingos in Africa, the greater and the lesser flamingo. This one is the greater one. It's the bigger one. It's also the one that is lighter in color. The lesser flamingo is a darker pink color. It's also smaller, hence the name lesser flamingo rather than greater flamingo. Okay, so you can see there, as it moves around, it actually puts its head into the water there, holds it upside down, and then moves it around, and it will be pumping water in and out of its mouth with its tongue. By moving that in the throat here, it can actually pump water in and out of its mouth. and then filter food particles out of the water, and then they eat that. They're basically filter feeders in essence, as it suggested there, as it says there. Also, they will nest in massive colonies. There are only a few sites that actually breed. The lesser flamingo in South Africa, for example, there's one dam near the Kimberley, the one city in South Africa. There they will breed, but they really only have a handful of breeding sites in the entire Africa, which is, yeah, it's actually quite strange, but they don't breed everywhere. They just breed in these small little perfect spots for them. And then they make this cone-shaped, as it says, like a little volcano, about yay big, so medium-sized mound they make, and in there's a little depression, and they lay an egg in there, and then they will be filtering water, and they will be regurgitating this. It looks like blood that they regurgitate to the offspring. It looks disgusting, but the babies then eat that, which is, quite cool. All right, let's see. Brilliant. The big 5 populations are fabulous, wonderful, wonderful, and the villagers seem to be poaching more. Oh. Okay. Oh, we're down to 3 stars. I wonder why. How can we do things a bit better? Maybe we can introduce some daker. I think the one literally just got eaten immediately. I think 2 of them just got eaten immediately. 3. Shame, that's the last daker. It's probably also going to die immediately. Yeah, that's the last one. Shame. Oh, and it's gone. Okay, so daker, no. We can bring in our giraffe. Maybe they can survive a little bit longer. Come on, Giraffa camelopardalis. We're going to put you guys in, but unfortunately there aren't a lot of trees for these guys to actually feed on. So what we are going to do is... Oh, we've got elephants. Do we have elephants? We don't have elephants down here, do we? No. So we can actually open up a bit of a spot here. And just place a few trees. Umbrella thorns in particular. Giraffes love going for thorn trees, even though the thorn trees are kind of protected with thorns. I mean, that's why they've got thorns to protect them against things eating them. The giraffe has a very long tongue, very tough palate as well. They just wrap their long tongue around the branches and strip the leaves off there, and then they eat it no problem. And yeah, really amazing. Perfectly adapted to just say, screw you, to the adaptations that the acacias have to prevent them eating it. Okay, but there we go. Nice little acacia forest over here, and now we are going to bring in some giraffes. Okay, let's just have a look here. This is surprisingly difficult for me to actually have a 5-star park today, it seems. Let's see, visitors want to stretch out more when they're on safari, gets more 4-door cars, and get some more cars. Okay, we can do that. Poaching. And they want more diversity in the park. I mean, we've got a lot of animals that are present. Maybe they want more things like froggies. Let's get the giant bullfrogs. No, African bullfrogs are not there, are they? No, I don't think they occur there. We can have, there's a little crocodile right in the pond over there. And a crocodile over here and over here. Let's increase the crocodile numbers, eh? I suspect our flamingos are probably going to suffer now because there's a crocodile that's going to be eating them. They will go for them. Let's see here. How are our big 5 populations going? The one that is dropping is leopard. Of course it is. Okay, these 2 are probably going to fight now. I don't know why I introduced 2 of them in the same area. And one up there. Still 3 stars. Alright, you know what, if we don't get to 4 stars or 5 stars, that's also fine. I am still happy with the way we have made this park, or built this park. It's a lot of fun, I must say. Alrighty, let's see, I'm going to drink some more coffee. Now I could put in kuru, however, I believe this is Trachylarphus strepsiceros, I believe, strepsiceros, yeah. Strepsiceros, that is the greater kudu. We don't have them in the Amboseli National Park. We have the lesser kudu, which are smaller, hence the name lesser kudu, but they're not as magnificent and big. And the ones we've got here, these are the greater kudu. So we're not going to introduce them. We are going to introduce some more impala. And what else can we introduce? Maybe some more baboons. A nice little troop over here. There are, of course, baboons in Amboseli as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to... Well, you know, it's not strange to have them running around the park here. We've got how many troops? Now we've got 4 troops around. I'm glad to see the rhinos are doing alright in our park here. 42 of them. Wow, that's magnificent. Because, well, they are unfortunately also poached like it's going out of fashion nowadays. Let's see. Oh, disturbing report that some villagers are indeed poaching. Oh, could you offer a job in your camp? Well, depends on whether I can. Oh, look. The fence didn't even keep out all the elephants. They've been trampling off crops. That's sad. And... okay, and they do have a nice little stall over here. A nice little shop. Nice little outdoor fruit market as well. Overall, they're not doing too poorly here. We do need more attendance though, so let's hire 5. Let's see, where are the signs of poaching? Not there. I don't see any carcasses lying around. No, I in fact do not. I suspect our vulture population has dropped. I don't recall when last I saw a vulture. Oh my goodness, yeah, they're gone. Look at that, drop down there. I want to quickly check. Let's just do one. Let's have a look at the savannah hare. When the savannah hares dropped... ah, not really. Well, yeah. So there, when the savannah hares disappeared, shortly thereafter the vultures also disappeared. Which is very interesting. It means the savannah hares were literally keeping the vultures alive. But in theory, they should be eating anything that's dead. There should be a lot of food for them, and they are eating insects at the moment down here as well. Most likely would be termites that they're going for, termite allets, the flying termites that are leaving the nest there. Yeah, most likely feeding on those, but yeah, shame. Vultures are gone as well. Oxpeckers, we're going to introduce oxpeckers as well. I'm not sure how many we have got in our reserve here. But there you can go. There you can see the red-billed oxpecker. We also have the yellow-billed oxpecker in Africa as well, which has a yellow base and a red tip. But these guys incredibly important for maintaining or decreasing tick populations, because they will be running around, or not running around, they will be sitting on a lot of herbivores, especially buffaloes. They love sitting on buffaloes. And I believe this is on an not an elephant skin, but a rhino skin. They are sometimes found on rhinos. They are very rarely found on elephants. For some reason, they don't like perching on elephants. But buffalo will very often have them, and giraffe as well. Very often will have oxpeckers in them. And the oxpeckers, of course, will be feeding on the ticks. They will be taking off the ticks off the animals, and they eat it. But they are not... oh, and I see we've got winter thorns. We need to take out some other trees over here, unfortunately. Not the trees I want or need in my park here. But yeah, they're actually not after the ticks themselves. The oxpeckers are really trying to get the blood in the ticks. So oxpeckers are real-life vampires, and if the animal that they're sitting on has a wound, these oxpeckers will pick at it to keep the wound open and the blood flowing, and then they will drink the blood. So mostly advantageous to have them sitting on you unless you've got a wound, and then they will pick that wound to keep it open, keep the blood flowing, and yeah, then you are going to have a bit of a problem there as a result of that. Alright, so let's see. That I also want to say about the oxpeckers though, they don't sleep usually on the animals that they are on. They actually go and roost in trees, nest in the trees, and then in the daytime and early mornings they fly out, they go find some animals to perch on, they sit there, they will warn the animals if predators approach. So if they, for example, are perched on a giraffe or a zebra or wildebeest or buffalo, then they see lions approaching, they do give an alarm call, so that also helps the animals that they're perching on. And of course, removal of ticks is a very valuable service. But then, of course, you know, picking at wounds, not so great. Not great at all. All right. I honestly don't know what else I can really make, except for perhaps planting plants. But very few of these plants I can actually plant. Yes, I can plant red oat grass. And I can plant love grass over here. But even this love grass we don't really find in Amboseli. This love grass we've got here, it's Eragrostis. It's Eragrostis ciliaris. And that's not actually the picture over there. Eragrostis ciliaris has a cluster of seeds together. This is Eragrostis curvula or superba, one of the other love grasses. That's actually a different species, which we do have in Amboseli. But Eragrostis ciliaris, we don't have in Amboseli. We do have other Eragrostis species there. Nonetheless, we are just going to place some of that down as well. A lovely, lovely grassland we do have here. it would be a shame if something were to happen to it. Oh no. Do we have a fire somewhere? Oh, I already stopped the fire. Nah, I should not have started. Oh no. Is there a... What? It burned down already and stopped burning? What even is this? Fire for ants. There we go. Oh, there goes our ranger hut. Of course it does. Shame. There we go. Finally. Oh, now the last trees, the baobabs, are also burning. Not that the baobabs really would burn very easily. They are very succulent trees. They are filled with water. They don't burn easily. Yeah, not at all. Except, of course, if they are dead. When they die, they just kind of collapse to the ground. They flop down. And then very shortly after flopping down, they just turn to this mush of dry fibers. And there are reports of that mass of fibers getting so hot as it starts breaking down that the tree actually, or that remains, start spontaneously combusting, actually just start bursting into flames. Not like a massive explosion, but start smoldering and then catching fire. Whether that is true or not, don't know. Somehow dubious, but there are reports of that potentially happening. So that's interesting. At least there are some baobabs. That one over there, that one over there. They survived the fire. This one still has a chance. That one I think is going to burn. This one is fine. And that one, yeah, those two are also fine up there. So some baobabs did survive the carnage of the bushfire over here. Other things going over here. Yeah, fire is spreading. Thankfully, the animals mostly have a sense of run away from the fire. But as the fire then has spread through the area and rains come again, this area over here will have fresh growth happening. And oh, the animals are going to just swarm there again and really going to just eat the fresh regrowth of the grass there, because that fresh regrowth of grass will be extremely palatable, will be great to eat. Yeah, that is indeed what they are going to go for. That is lovely. All right. Oh, there's a fire in the park. We must ring it and doesn't continue spreading. No, we're not. We are not going to stop a fire. Fires are natural. In savanna ecosystems, they need fire. This is rebirth, in essence, for the savanna. The savanna needs fire to happen. Without it, bad things are going to happen. Technically, the trees would start taking over if you don't have fire happening to actually knock them back. Yeah. Alrighty. So let's see. We've got a bit of overgrazing down here. So you know what we're going to do? We are going to introduce, not wild dogs, lion. Lion. Where are you? There you are. More lions. There we go. Great stuff. An animal we haven't got is Corvus. Corvus, you must come in. Corvus ellipsiprimnus, the waterbuck. I believe ellipsiprimnus means ellipsical or little halo-like behind, because Corvus over here, the waterbuck, has that white ring around there. Apparently, these antelope stink. They smell horrible. Doesn't say it here, but yeah, they apparently stink to high hell. Kind of a defense mechanism against predators to prevent things eating them, because you don't want to eat something that tastes or that smells that bad. So yeah. For some reason we didn't have any. They're called waterbuck because, not because they're running around in the water, but usually they are very close, they are found quite close to water. So since we have got Lake Amboseli over here, you know, it's natural, it's good to have a few waterbuck running around here. Hello there, Heinrich. Welcome. Playing on easy or hard? Yeah, there is... I don't think there is even a difficulty here. I think back in the day, there was one mode, and that was it. Yeah, so just playing on normal difficulty. Had the disasters on until everything just, yeah, went to high hell. And now we just have everything kind of stopped. No disasters, and I put in some extra fires just for a bit of spice. So yeah, I don't think you can actually play hard mode here, or hard difficulty. I don't think so. Unless it has to do with the amount of money you can actually start with. But so far, money is alright. Money is not really an issue. We've got a nice camp. What are they suggesting? What should we do? Hot tub would be a wonderful addition to our camp. Oh, there we go. There's a little video playing on the amphitheater. And the little videos that play are the little clips we see when we put the use the binoculars on some of the animals. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put the hot tub over here. So let's see, hot tub. There's a hot tub. Apparently the fire has stopped. Okay, so we're going to place the hot tub down there, and we're just going to put a little path down to this. We're going to delete the horrible paths that I have built. There we go. And just build another little path up to the top there. There we go. Cool. Come and enjoy the hot tub. Oh, I remember when I was a kid, it was amazing seeing these little animations of, oh, look, the hot tub is happening. Something is happening there. And then it's like, okay, cool, it's still now. And then later on, it happens again. Like, oh, wow, that was just amazing. Or the little kid in the swimming pool diving under his rubber ducky or moving around. Whoop, there he goes, dives down. Ah, these animations, that was like peak performance in 1998. I love this game. I would pay if they made a remake of this. Oh, I would pay for that. I would love playing that. That would just be amazing. Let's see. Massive area actually burnt. Really a big bushfire. Yeah. That's cool. That worked quite well, I dare say. Let's see. Villagers have been leaving the animals alone. Not bad. Just get a little bit more variety in animal types. We are 4 stars. Oh, maybe we can get to 5 stars. Maybe we can try to get there. What do we need? Guinea fowl! We don't have guinea fowl. Okay, they can't fly apparently. In the game at least they can't fly. In real life, guinea fowl can fly. Not the greatest of flyers, but they can fly. But you do see them very often just running around on the ground. Typical game bird. You know, they're running around. Apparently also very tough meat. You don't eat them, not easily at least. You can eat guinea fowl, but yeah, they apparently are very, very tough meat. Let's put in some more hornbills. Oh yes, I wanted to talk about the hornbills earlier. Because what happens with many of the hornbill species is that, and not all, ground hornbills for example don't do this, but the yellow-billed hornbill will do this. The male, when he has mated with the female will go into a hole in the tree, and she will start building the nest there, and then eventually she seals herself up. She and the male will seal the female inside this hole in the tree. She will lay the eggs, and she will incubate the eggs. The male then has to go and find food, bring it back to the female, and once the chicks hatch, he will have to supply the mother and the babies with food until they get nice and big, where the mother then breaks out, and then both of them will feed the babies. And that is a defense mechanism against predators, to make it more difficult for predators to get inside the nest to go and grab the eggs or the chicks. So a very nice defense mechanism. But as I said, not all hornbills will do it. The ground hornbills, which are the largest hornbills we've got in South Africa, they, for example, will not do that. All right, but some species will. Let's see. I really want the bullfrogs. Yeah, let's have some bullfrogs. Shame. I'm not sure what species of bullfrog this is. Let's not this one. Field guide, African bullfrog. Yeah, it is Pixycephalus adspersus. Adspersus, not ageless. Ageless is actually the African bullfrog. What we've got here is the giant bullfrog, the Pixycephalus adspersus. And Pixycephalus has always been the strangest name to me because these bullfrogs are big. I mean, they're about that size. They're nothing pixie-like at all. Cephalus referring to head, so this is the pixie head. I'm not sure what pixie means, but you know, pixie-headed frog. Quite cool. Oh, and that's not the frog sound. That sound there is, I don't know what. I think that's more like an American frog that they've got there. They had a great opportunity to actually make an amazing sound with the African or the giant bullfrog, because the giant bullfrog has this whoop sound that it makes. I've very rarely heard them. I have heard them in one area years ago, in an area where they don't actually usually occur. There was one kind of outside its normal range, but I heard there in the sewage farm, I heard one go whoop the whole time. Amazing. They also will take care of the offspring. I think they've all been eaten. Yeah, they're all gone. But the males of the species actually will guard the eggs, or the tadpoles in particular then. Once they've hatched, they will see this frog sitting amongst a horde of little tadpoles. And if the pond that the tadpoles are in actually starts drying out, or drying up, the male will dig a channel to get the tadpoles to a bigger pool that actually still has water. So some amazing parental care with the giant bullfrog. And I think that is just absolutely marvelous. Really, really awesome. All right. Now, let's see. I think this is actually a good spot to end for today because, yeah, we have, in essence, kind of not done a great job at doing Amboseli, but we have got the tuskers. Where are the elephants? We have the elephants. I hear the elephants. Yes, I hear you. There we go. There's our herd of elephants. So somewhere to the south, there would be Mt Kilimanjaro, and here we've got our herd of elephants moving across the landscape here. Alright, but I hope you had a fun time here with me in SimSafari. It's been marvelous being here with you for a change back in this game. I hope you have a wonderful weekend further. I'll be back on Tuesday with another Empires of the Undergrowth video, and then on Friday another Monster Hunter World video coming out again finally once more. Alright, hope you have a wonderful day further. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and until next time, stay safe. I'll see you all soon.